Title: Bible Prophecy, the Next Pope, and Russia. In light of recent developments concerning Pope Francis's health, discussions have emerged regarding his potential successor and the implications for global events. From a traditional Protestant perspective, the papacy has long been viewed as the embodiment of the Antichrist, a figure prophesied to oppose Christ and his teachings until the second coming, at which point he will be destroyed. This interpretation draws heavily from scriptural passages, particularly from the books of Daniel, 2 Thessalonians, and Revelation. The papacy as the Antichrist. The identification of the papacy with the Antichrist is rooted in several biblical texts. The Apostle Paul, in his second letter to the Thessalonians, warns of a man of sin who will exalt himself above all that is called God. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God. 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3-4. Reformers such as Martin Luther and John Calvin interpreted this passage as a reference to the papacy, viewing the Pope's claim to divine authority and infallibility as a direct fulfillment of this prophecy. This perspective was enshrined in confessional documents like the Westminster Confession of Faith, which states, "There is no other head of the Church but the Lord Jesus Christ, nor can the Pope of Rome in any sense be head thereof, but is that Antichrist, that man of sin and son of perdition that exalts himself in the church against Christ and all that is called God." The little horn of Daniel. The book of Daniel provides further imagery that has been associated with the papacy. In Daniel 7, the prophet describes a vision of 4 beasts representing successive empires. The 4th beast, noted for its dreadful and terrible nature, has 10 horns, among which a little horn emerges. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. Daniel 7:8. Historic Protestant interpretation often identifies this little horn as the papacy, arising amidst the 10 kingdoms that succeeded the Roman Empire, characterized by its boastful claims and influence over spiritual matters. The Beast of Revelation. The book of Revelation offers additional symbolism pertinent to this discussion. Chapter 13 introduces a beast rising from the sea. "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy." Revelation 13, verse 1. This beast is granted authority over all kindreds, tongues, and nations, and is worshipped by many. Reformers saw this as emblematic of the papal system, which wielded extensive religious and political power, often perceived as blasphemous due to its claims of divine authority. Chapter 17 further describes a woman seated upon a scarlet-colored beast. "And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold, and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots." Revelation 17, verse 4-5. This imagery has been interpreted as representing a corrupt religious system, with the city of 7 hills, Rome, as its center, further linking it to the papacy. Alignment with Russia. Gog and Magog. Ezekiel 38 and 39 prophesy about a figure named Gog from the land of Magog, leading a coalition of nations against Israel in the latter days. Some interpretations associate Magog with modern-day Russia, citing geographical references to a nation from the far north of Israel. While interpretations vary, some suggest that a future pope could align with Russian leadership, fulfilling this prophecy. Pope Francis has already laid the groundwork for a Vatican-Russia connection by prioritizing reconciliation with the Eastern Orthodox Church, particularly the Russian Orthodox Church, which remains closely aligned with Vladimir Putin's government. His refusal to take a firm stance against Russia's actions stems from this broader ecumenical strategy, as alienating the Russian Orthodox Church would set back the centuries-long effort to heal the 1054 schism. Given the Vatican's careful diplomatic approach, the next pope will likely continue Francis' efforts, maintaining a neutral or conciliatory position toward Russia to preserve and strengthen the fragile dialogue between the Catholic and Orthodox churches. This alignment ensures that the Vatican remains strategically positioned to mediate between East and West while subtly fostering long-term religious unity, a goal that has taken precedence over geopolitical alignments. This growing Vatican-Russia connection, coupled with biblical prophecy, raises concerns about the role the next pope may play in end-time events. If Magog is indeed modern Russia, as some interpretations suggest, and Gog represents a leader who will arise in opposition to God's people, then a future pope aligning with Russian leadership could be seen as a fulfillment of Ezekiel 38-39. Revelation 17 describes a religious power working alongside political forces, stating, "And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth." Revelation 17:18. Historically, Protestant interpretations have identified this woman as the Roman Catholic Church, which has wielded spiritual and political influence for centuries. Conclusion. The traditional Protestant view identifies the papacy as the Antichrist, drawing from interpretations of biblical prophecies in Daniel, 2 Thessalonians, and Revelation. These interpretations highlight characteristics such as self-exaltation, blasphemy, and dominion over spiritual matters, which have been historically attributed to the papal office. The potential alignment of a future pope with Russia, as interpreted through the lens of Gog and Magog prophecies, adds a contemporary dimension to these discussions, though it remains a topic of ongoing theological exploration.